There's a small museum in a small town that's home to an invention that some would deem to be one of the most important of the last century. At least those of us doing this job feel that way. It's the invention of the television. Brenda Stanley joins us with a look at one of Idaho's biggest claims to fame in this week's Idaho Gems.
That's right. Even with the years of scientific and legal proof, there are still some who doubt the validity of Philo T. Farnsworth's title of the inventor of television. The story of how he came to develop his invention begins in a field right here in Idaho. It may seem like the last place you'd expect to find the invention of television, but along with the pioneer artifacts, animal trophies, and even a flag that flew on the moon, is Rigby, Idaho's Pioneer and Philo T. Farnsworth Television Museum. It has the tubes, transmitters, patents, and papers that tell the history of how TV came to be. And curator Cleve Reddick enjoys passing the stories along.
One day I had a guy come in and he says, there ain't no way that somebody from this little two-bit town invented television. And the next fellow that come through the door has saved all of his life from Britain, and he says, this is like Mecca. He wanted to see it. I says, you guys got to talk.
It was while Philo T. Farnsworth was a teenager working in a farm field in Rigby that he developed the concept of television by seeing the lines of the fields and then transferring that idea to photos and lights.
We got the early prototypes. We've got a lot of the early manufacturing here. We've got a few of his personal items. We've got some of the really early picture tubes with actual engineers' explanations of how they work. Most of the time when Farnsworth is shown in a statue or a photograph, he's holding a tube. Most people would come in here think that he invented the TV set that sits in your living room. But the tube he's holding in all of those poses is a camera tube. He thought that was the breakthrough.
The museum explains the timeline of his invention and shows the numerous early-era models of what we know as television today. And while TV may have been what made Farnsworth famous, it was just one of his many inventions.
The amount of inventions varied greatly, anywhere from wood kilns to the television to work on radar. And when he died, he was working on cold fusion. I think he just had one of them brains you don't shut off very often.
And while Farnsworth wasn't actually born in Idaho, he was adamant to give Rigby the title of the birthplace of television, something the museum is happy to preserve.
It's a great deal of fun working here. It's kind of an odd thing that it was invented here, and so it's fun.
The museum is open most weekdays and on Saturday, but it's run completely by volunteers, so it's a good idea to call and make plans before you go. We have information on how to do that on our website at kpvi.com. Now back to you.